Welcome to Direct Sales Immersion Training, powered by Celebrity BMI Group and facilitated by lovely Lancaster. Direct Sales Immersion is typically a 2-day training experience which consists of 5 modules. Module 1, Lead Generation. Module 2, Effective Prospecting. Module 3, Digital Marketing. Module 4, Follow-up Management. And Module 5, Incorporation of Systems. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So this is Direct Sales Immersion Training. And we're going to go right into Module 1, okay? So Module 1 is where we're going to talk about lead generation. Because if you want sales and you want to make money, you need to have leads in order to do it. Am I right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's go into what is lead generation anyway, right? Lead generation is the process of attracting and converting strangers and prospects into someone who has indicated interest in your company's product or service. Some examples of lead generation are job applications, blog posts, comments, coupons, live events, and online content, just to name a few, okay? In marketing, lead generation is the initiation of consumers' interest or inquiry into products or services of a particular business. Leads can be created for purposes such as building a list, building a newsletter list, for acquisition or for sales leads, and the methods of generating these leads typically fall under the umbrella of advertising. So advertising is like the hub, but then there's like segmentation of what is advertising. Lead generation is just one of those facets. But may also include non-paid sources such as organic search engine results or referrals from existing customers, okay? So anything that has developed a relationship through interest is considered lead generation, okay? Leads may come from various sources or activities. For example, digitally, via the internet, through personal referrals, through telephone calls, either by the company or telemarketing. So what's really cool is you can prospect for yourself as far as lead generation, or you can outsource it. A lot of big companies, they do exactly that, outsourcing. Give you a good example of that, Xerox. When we think of the company Xerox, if you were around in the 80s when I was born, we know that they were what? A printing company at that point. So they became the catalyst for printing. As a matter of fact, they are the Toma brand for printing. Whenever you want to print or copy something, can you Xerox that for me? Right? But Xerox isn't an action, it's a pronoun for a company. Yeah. How did they do that? They acquired top of mind awareness, meaning they became the example in their industry, and now they're the catalyst. But what's funny is Xerox is not in the printing company anymore. Guess what Xerox do? Business solutions, telemarketing. They've been doing it for well over 20 years now. But because people have brand recognition, it doesn't, they're trusted, right? They're trusted. So that is what it is that we want to do, right? As small business owners, how do we become the catalyst or the standard within the industry in which we're conducting business, so that every time they even mention the action, it's us they think about, right? Mm-hmm. Yes. Make sense? All right. Also through advertisements and events. So a study back in 2015 found that 89% of respondents via email is the most used channel for lead generation. Hear that out. 89% of respondents cited that email is the most used channel for generated leads. So if you are short on leads, what do you think is the first thing you need to implement? Somebody raised their hand. What? Emails. Yeah, emails. This is based on the study done in 2015. So remember how, Dr. Goldie, you had mentioned that how do I sell XYZ? And I said, oh, that's simple. We need to create an email sequence for you. And you're like, oh. So the reason why you're not selling it is because you already know why. You don't have an email, marketing system in place. Okay? Yeah. Followed by content marketing. So what did I tell you guys the first thing I do to build my brand is? I create content, right? Because it's engaging, it's creative, it's fun, and honestly, guys, that's the thing to do right now, right? Yeah. Thanks to social media. So followed by email. So you want to have an email system in place as far as your marketing first. Then you want to focus on your content creation, okay? After that, number 3 is search engine, right? Search optimization, SEO. So you guys already have that in place, right? Google is a really good way to ensure that you have maximized your visibility in the digital marketing realm in regards to searchability, right? You want to be number 1 in certain AdWords in which people use to, look up certain things. You're really great at that. But that's number 3, right? So you got number 3 down, which is great. But if you're not doing number 2 and number 1, you're leaving market share on the table for your competitors. All right? Finally, okay, you get to events. That's going to be your promotions, guys. That's going to be the challenges, right? The workout sessions that's open to the community. That's going to be the last thing you do. Now, be honest with me. How many of you guys have focused on events more than anything else?
I have.
Yep. Yeah, most of us do because we want warm bodies, right? Yeah. But that is the last thing on the list that's going to saturate your market. And if you are still in business by just events, you're doing amazing. But guess what that is? Maybe 2-3% of the market. So you're leaving 97% out there because you don't have an email system in place, right? You don't create the content to promote digitally, right? You don't have your search engine in place, where in your case you do, good job, right? Because you're only focused on how many warm bodies you can get in an event. And I'm going to be honest with you. It's going to be harder to get warm bodies in here, person to person, than it is digitally, right? I got one YouTube video that has at over 20,000 views. I have never packed out an event at 20,000 people, ever. I won't say I never will, but I haven't done it yet. But I can honestly say I have a following of over 20,000 thanks to digital content. Digital content brings your numbers, okay? Not warm bodies. Any questions on that? Great, we are on point, so I can keep going. Okay, a study back in 2014 found that direct traffic, search engines, and web referrals were amongst the top 3 popular online channels for lead generation. So, how many of you guys have direct traffic funnels in place? How many of you guys got search engine optimization? You two can raise your hand. Okay. How many of you guys are getting web referrals of any kind from a platform? Raise your hand. She can raise her hand. She be turning them down all the time. We just talked about that, right? So, but that's accountable for 93% of your leads, guys. So where do you think you need to be if you want to lead generate? You need to be online. Lead generation is often paired with lead management to move leads through a purchasing funnel. That's a process. This combination of activities is referred to as pipeline marketing. So remember how I had said to you guys, it's not enough to just automate email posts or Facebook posts. It's not enough, right? Because that's just one part of the process. But guess what, guys? We got a prospecting process for you today. So we're going to get into that a little bit later. Okay? And then from there, you can see where you've been dropping the ball and how some of that 1.6 million you lost has fell through your fingers. Okay? As leads is usually allotted or allocated as an individual to follow up on, once the individual reviews and qualifies it and have a potential business relationship, the leads get converted into opportunities for the business. Okay, so just having somebody like something that you put on Facebook, does that qualify them as a lead? It makes them a prospect because they showed interest, right? But how are they qualified? You have to have a system in place to qualify them. So I give you guys an example. I have a direct sale company, right? It sells high-end cleaning company for homes, okay? So what that tells you already is, in order to be a qualified prospect or lead for me, you need to be a homeowner. Because it's high end though, you need to be gainfully employed, willing, meaning that you have to have the ability to purchase it if you want it. So you can't just be a homeowner, you gotta be a gainfully employed homeowner. That is my target market, right? That is my qualified lead. So that way, if you're not a homeowner and you're not gainfully employed, I don't feel bad about moving on past you, no disrespect, but you're not my target market. Understand? So it's very important in knowing that, so that way you can funnel the right people through your system so you can hit your numbers, right? I had a client who is really good at putting names on paper, very good at prospecting, very good, but was horrible at putting them through the prospecting funnel because he had no way of qualifying his clients. So if I tell him, get 15 people this today and get them on your list, very good at that. But then when it comes to, okay, great, were you able to set an appointment? Yeah, I was able to set an appointment with 3 of them. Great, that's a good conversion number. How many of them move forward? None of them. Why? Well, this one, couldn't afford it for this one couldn't do it for this, and this one, for whatever reason, I can't get them to make a definite decision. I was like, none of them are qualified to do business with you. Where's your qualification system for you to know if they're worth your time for a presentation? And that person just couldn't get it, couldn't move past that step in the process. So guess what? They just stayed at the ability to put names on paper and to do an appointment, but could not convert or close a sale. You have to have a qualification process in place. A lead is, okay, we already spoke on that. Okay, so the opportunity then has to undergo multiple sales stages before the deal is won. Okay, so that's what we're going to get into next. Any questions though on the importance of qualifying leads and lead generation? So at the bottom of this page, guys, I do have some ideas as far as lead generation outside of the training. So we got content creation. Of course, we got email, as we said. We got social media ads, as in Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, just to name a few. We got blogs, which is really big right now, okay? We also got social media posting and engagement. We got product trials, right? That's promotions. Referral marketing, whereas you create influencers or ambassadors through your current field SOI or sphere of influence. And then we got those community events, right? Those are going to be your challenges and your monthly or your weekly workout events and things like that. Okay, so any questions on lead generation?
So what did your client do to become a better qualifier? What do you do to become a better qualifier?
So you stick to the system and you don't deviate from it. You don't make exceptions. Because if you do, you're spinning your wheels and you're exhausted and you have no results to show for it. So remember how I said sacrifice and discipline is weighed in ounces, but the weight of regret is weighed in tons, right? I would rather save me the effort and save you the discomfort of moving past you on an opportunity than for me to funnel you through my process only for you to be disappointed because you couldn't afford it or you didn't want it in the first place. And guess what? I knew it too. Right? Now I got a bad rep, right? because I'm following people through a process. How many people in this room are excited to tell somebody that they are a salesman? Raise your hand. What? But you're all entrepreneurs though, right?
Everyone
What?
wants to buy, no one wants to be sold.
No one wants to be sold. Let me tell y'all though, I am so excited to tell people what I do for a living. My name is Lovely Lancaster. I am a financial and business strategist, and I help serious entrepreneurs create and sustain income producing assets that build wealth. I sell people. I sell all day, every day. And I do it with dignity because I got a system that I don't deviate from, right? Which protects me from people who don't want to do business with me. It's simple. If you're not serious about moving your business forward to a particular goal, in which I've already said, that's fine and dandy. I'm not the person for you. And that's okay, because you're still either going to be an influencer or a partner one day. You may never be a customer or a client, and that's okay. Right? I got something for you. I love what I do. I have passion in what I do because I go to bed at night happy because I didn't deviate from my purpose or my standard. Right? It's when you deviate from who you are as a person that demonizes who you are, and it makes you not happy with it. That's why neither one of you guys put your hand up and said, oh, I'm not happy telling people I'm a salesperson. I avoid that. That's why you avoid it. But when you stay within the boundaries that you set forth within the culture of your business, you can tell people with excitement who you are and what you do. Right? Because I can't give everybody what I got, right? You gotta be special. You gotta be serious. You gotta be ready to be my client. I need you to act now. If you tell me I think about it, I've already moved past you. You've already disqualified yourself. Sorry. You will be on my email list though, because I'm gonna move on with greatness. Right?
Yes.
Unapologetically. Because this is your business, right? This is your life. This is your sacrifice. This is your level of discipline. And you don't owe anybody any explanations as to any standard that you put forth in how you do your business. Right? All right. So any other questions about lead generation? Because that training was really explanatory, right? It not only told you what it is, but it gave you a plan of action, right? As to how to prioritize how you're going to lead generate so you get the most out of it. Okay, so moving on to module 2, which is effective prospecting. So yes, prospecting is separate from lead generation, because lead generation, right, just piques interest, right? Prospecting, however, is the process of initiating the development of new business by searching for potential clients, customers, or buyers for your products or services. The goal of sales prospecting is to move these people from prospect through the sales funnel until they're eventually converted into revenue generating customers. What this does is, this is the initiation of the conversation about you as a contender for their interest, right? So this is how it will go. You put a post out there about Fit by Design and somebody like it. That's a lead. Prospecting that lead is contacting them, maybe in a DM. Hi, Sally Sue. I saw that you liked our post on Fit by Design. Just want to reach out to you and give you a free coaching session from us if you're ready to change your life for the better. Whatever the case is, right? And then you give them a link as to directly scheduling that appointment. That, my friend, is called prospecting, right? It's specifically targeting somebody who has shown interest by the initiation of the conversation about your brand and what you can do for them. Right? Right? One of the most important aspects of effective prospecting is identifying good fit customers for your business. This means finding leads and prospects who truly need your product or service to solve their challenges and pain points. So remember how we talked about the difference between retail, direct sales, and e-commerce, and how one of those aspects you got to bring the problem to the solution to be rendered. Another one is the solution has to go to the problem to be rendered. And another one is when both stay where they're at, but they got a happy medium to transfer, right? So it's very important that you understand which of those models of businesses you're running so you can understand how your funnels is going to be created as far as prospecting goes. These are the people who provide you the long-term business and value versus those who churn after closing a deal. Okay, you're not going to keep everybody. Okay, you're going to have some turnover. You can identify good fit customers while prospecting by asking the right sales qualification questions to all of your leads and prospects. So that's just a part of your qualifying, you know? So this is how I determined if someone was qualified, right? Instead of me saying, hey, are you married? I will say, by the way, Mrs. Smith, I'm going to be contacting you at 5. Can you just give me the name of your husband just in case he calls? I want to be able to reference him accordingly. Oh, yeah, his name is John. Did I have to ask her if she was married? No. I assumed she was married, and if she wasn't, she just would have corrected me. Oh, no, you ain't got to worry about nobody. I'm single, right? People don't want to give you their specific, private information. So there's a way in you conduct business, right? There's a way in which you extract that necessary information for qualifying so you can see the best or the most desired outcome for yourself with ease on your client, right? If I know she's married, okay, I not only know that she's gainfully employed, but chances are he is too. Oh, I need to sell to them with urgency because they are a good fit. Good fit. That means I can get paid now if I do this right, right? Versus, I'll get to them later because I got to get to my good fit people first. You got to prioritize so you can get to your money faster, right? Yeah. Speaking of leads and prospects, it's important to note the difference between these two types of people that you and the rest of your sales team will be able to communicate with while prospecting. So let's take a look at the difference between leads and prospects. The difference between a lead and a prospect is, number one, research. Determining the quality of the lead, right? Qualifying dimensions is a set of criteria to evaluate the probability that a lead or prospect will become a customer. And the best way to do this without wasting the most time is just set up an email CRM. Bam. Right? If they like it, they're going to click. If they don't, move on. Eventually, they'll, come into the fold or they'll fall off, and they'll do it on their time. Or they may fall off, but their circumstances will change, and then because of your ability to stay in front of them, they will contact you when they're ready, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. It's called TOMA, top of mind awareness, right?
Right.
Second is knowing the difference between a prospect and a lead is by action, which is to prospect, right? Mm-hmm. The goal is to connect, right?
Yeah.
So gatekeeper, person in charge of communicating or preventing information from reaching a decision maker. For example, receptionist or personal assistants. So a gatekeeper is not a prospect. A gatekeeper is exactly what this definition says it is, but there's a way to get around them, and it's called scripting. Brandy knows this better than anybody. I am the queen of getting past gatekeepers because gatekeepers have no, how can I say this, no clout. They have no decision making. They have no authority. So if you know that and you call, who is in authority? You are. And everything is just based on how you speak, right? So we'll talk about that further in the training, okay? It's not what you do, it's how you do it. Decision makers, however, are the people in charge of making a final decision on the sale. You usually have to go through a gatekeeper to reach them. So if you're married, right, you automatically have a scapegoat. It's called your spouse. right? So if a person is married, chances are, if they're not interested in moving forward or they don't feel comfortable, they're going to put the responsibility on the other spouse. That's going to be their quote unquote decision maker if they don't want to make a decision. So I never sell to a married person without having their spouse there with them. And a lot of times, especially as women, we get irritated. I don't need my husband there. Yes, you do, boo. Because if you want what I want, you need his permission. Period. But I'm trying to get a sale today. I don't got time to call you in a week. Right? And if that person says, well, I don't want my husband there, then guess what they turned into? An influencer, and keep it moving. Right? Number 3 is to connect, right? Schedule the next meeting. They're no longer a lead. They're no longer a prospect. They're now a client. If I get in front of you, whether you do business with me or not, the relationship from then on is a client. You're either a non-owner client or an invested client. Non-owner means, or future owner means that you're not doing business with me now, but you will eventually do business with me, right? Whether you find me business or you just sign on the dotted line. But either way, if you do a presentation with me, I consider you a client, okay? Discovery call. The first contact a sales rep makes with a prospect to qualify them as a lead for the next step in the cycle. So again, by transferring how you think of them at that point will allow you to treat them like a Michelle instead of a Lovely. Remember I talked to you guys about that? So you need to know, when do I start treating this person like a Michelle? When they actually schedule an appointment with you. All right, so number 4 is educate and evaluate. So the goal is to evaluate and to qualify needs. So what you're doing is you're providing them with value and information, which is a system that I just learned this morning, and I'll talk to you guys about that later in the training. But what you're really doing is I'm giving you this so I can know what your pain points are, okay? A pain point is a prospect's business need. This is what sales reps must identify to provide value and move them further along in the sales cycle. The objection, however, is a person's challenge leading to an opposing a product or service or budget time restraints, right? So it's me creating an opportunity based on urgency, right? So it's not necessary that you need to lose weight, but I need to lose 20 pounds in how many weeks? 6 weeks?
6 weeks.
And you got a what for that?
Plan.
Bam! Right? Just that fast. That is how you convert somebody from just a lead to a prospect to now you're a client. All you got to do is say yes, either now or later. Right? So let's get into this process now, right? As you can see in this diagram below, generating leads is a fundamental point in the individual's journey to becoming a delighted customer. So the first thing, as we said, is to attract, which means build interest. The next is to convert, which means to initiate conversation. The next is to close, which means is to present and provide a call to action. And then the next is to delight, which is to fulfill your obligation with them, but do it with excellence, with greatness. That's where customer service come, and culture and flair and, you know, all this good stuff that we're talking about doing, right? You only get that once you become a client, unfortunately, because that cost, customer service is expensive, right?
Absolutely.
But it's just what it is. It's a service to who? Your customers. Everybody don't get that. Everybody else get professionalism, right? It's a difference between the two, right? And then from there, you're creating a following of influencers, of ambassadors, of promoters for your brand, so you're able to make more money off of them. Remember how I told you that your client is worth whatever they're spending times 7? If you do it right, this is how you do it right. Okay? So with the lead generation, Now that you understand how lead generation fits into the inbound marketing methodology, let's walk through the steps of the lead funnel generation process. And there you have it. So moving on to module 3, we're going to get into our digital marketing, okay? So this is a new one, like in the last 20 years. I know back when I started, my journey into entrepreneurship, I did a lot of like community boosts and direct mailers and stuff like that. And even though I'm like on the cuff of being a millennial, I was really slow to getting on the bandwagon of digital marketing. And because of that, my business suffered. I was behind the bandwagon of a lot of my peers because I just couldn't get it. So what is digital marketing, right? What is it anyway? It is a huge topic. So let's start by defining exactly what we mean when we talk about digital marketing. Digital marketing is an umbrella term for all of your company's online marketing efforts, right? So it's not one particular thing. It's just like advertising isn't one particular thing. It is an umbrella with multiple facets within it. Lots of businesses leverage digital channels such as Google search, social media, email, online advertising, and including their websites to connect with their current and prospective customers. Many companies focus on online or digital channels over offline marketing tactics because it allows them to reach their ideal target market where they're already spending most of their time. So that's why when people offered you to be on billboards or maybe in print magazines, which print magazines is now the #1 way consumers want to get information, by the way, is back. It's never left. But we'll talk about that. But the reason why you didn't see the value in it is because you knew there's a better way. It's called digital marketing. That's why. That's why it was easy for you to tell them no, right? And that's why you're probably so receptive to the email marketing and the content creation and social media, because you know that 90% of your target market is on social media anywhere between 3 to 7 hours a day. That means no matter where they're at, you have an opportunity to get in front of them if you're smart, right?
Yeah.
So how do you get in front of them? It's real simple, guys. This is what I love about this module. It's real simple, right? You create a presence, and you create a presence through first establishing a website, right? Which we're going to talk about in our systems, what that website should consist of, right? Which is something I learned new today. Is called information management. Guess what information management is?
What?
Your funnel system. It's the process in which you deliver information for a desired result. And guess what is the catalyst for that? Your website. 70% of people who will visit your website have an expectation that there's some self-service process to them becoming a client. If you don't have that in place, you're left 70% of an opportunity to close a deal digitally on the table. Right?
Yes.
Next is your business social media platforms. Social media pages, like business pages, are digital business cards. Just like when I'm on Google, girl, that's a business card digitally, right? You have to put yourself on certain interfaces just for people to know you're legit, right? It's not marketing, it's just creating a presence, right? Email marketing, right? That is huge. Again, 89% of your market share is going to come from what? Email marketing. So if you're not doing any email marketing, you're living off of, less than 10% of what you could be getting just by not doing that alone. So if you want to increase your profit margins quickly, email marketing, if you do nothing else, is the thing you need to implement, which I need to do more of that. All right, so the next thing is online branding assets. So this is going to be your logos, your image, right? Even your color selection. One of the things we offer in celebrity is something called a brand book, right? Brandy has wonderful examples of them because she actually creates them. But it's going to be your logo. It's going to be the color selection within your logo. It's going to be the fonts that you choose, right? It's a way of you creating the image in which will give you familiar, how can I say it? When you see red and white, you think of Coca-Cola, right? When you see a gold arch, you think of McDonald's, right? That is giving you Toma. It's giving you quick recognition without them having to think about it, right? That's going to spark something. Like, I'm not gonna lie, every time I see a McDonald's, even though I never eat at McDonald's, but every time I see a gold arch, guess what I ask myself? Am I hungry? And I don't even eat at McDonald's, But Toma is, by them just seeing your brand, it's sparking interest, or it's gravitating them to you.
It's your personal propaganda.
Right. I like how Brandy had said something to me. She was like, "You're a magnet to certain things." I said, "Oh, I want to be a magnet to those things." But then I thought about, why am I a magnet to those things? It's because I've created so much Toma that I pull those opportunities to me, right? Just like them golden arches will pull you into them just by seeing their brand, making you question, am I hungry? And then you're going to be like, yes, I am. And if you're hungry, they got burgers, fries, sodas, McFlurries. And you'd be like, you know what? I think I want a McFlurry. And just like that, you'll deviate from your path and go into the drive-thru. Tell me if that's never happened to you. If you see a Chick-fil-A or wherever you eat, right? It would spark you to, wait a minute. That's what you want to do, right? That's what Toma is. So I hope you get my book, okay? Because it's going to explain to you how you get that. Next is blogs. Blogs is your message, is your narrative. And you're doing it in a way that provides value. A big thing on social media right now is articles. People don't trust the news anymore. People in our age group are not reading USA Today. Because first of all, why would I read USA Today when I can just go on YouTube, click on, or search USA Today, and then their latest news, show is going to pop up, and I can listen to just a segment of what I wanted to hear or listen to, right? Same as with blogs. People aren't reading full newspapers anymore. They just want to read articles of relevance. So what's an article of relevance? A blog, right? And blogs is a good way to solidify yourself as the expert within your field without being salesy. So let me break that down to you. Let's say you guys write a blog and it's sourced directly from your website, and I like what I read. If I like it enough, I want to build clout by sharing it with other people. So if I share it with another group and they love it, guess who else is seeing your brand? A whole bunch of people who otherwise would have never known about you if it had not been for me liking what you shared and then wanting to build my following or my level of clout by providing it in a group, right? But you're not going to share a flyer or a post of what do you call it when you're trying to sell somebody something? Starts with an S. Solicitation.
Okay.
People don't like being solicited on Facebook, right? So they just like information or value of relevance, and they'll share that a lot faster than a solicitation. Okay, so that's how you want to get in front of people, and then from there you'll start to get the DMs, right, of interest. Hey, I'd like to know more about this, or whatever the case is, right? That engagement, that prospecting element is now in progress in regards to your prospecting conversion process, right? Next is online brochures. Online brochures, I love Canva. If you don't use Canva, I use Canva for my online brochures. So I don't do company brochures, but I do product and service brochures, which is why it was really important when we did your raw inventory. You know, that we talked about what products and services you got, so we can have an idea as to what online brochures we need to create, so we can create social media ads around them, right, as a lead funnel. And we have somebody here.
Oh, that's cool.
And last but not least, guys, other written content. This is going to be your ebooks, your digital white pages. Digital white pages is like directories, which is also going to give you SEO presence. But your ebooks, your content in general, YouTube videos, guys, online courses, you know, anything that people can access online, you want to use those as what I call lead magnets. Instead of you going out finding the leads do what? They gravitate to you by you providing either value or free stuff of interest. So the next thing is our follow-up system, and as my gift to you, I do have a day-to-day follow-up system that I'm going to give you. I'm going to gift it to you. It is a $200 value, so I'm going to gift this to you guys so you guys can move forward today in excellence after this training, which is pretty amazing. But what I love about creating a follow-up system is the fortune is in it. The fortune is in the follow-up. Your fortune as a business owner lies within your ability to follow up with your book of business on a consistent basis. Follow up on a consistent basis, okay? You have to create a rhythm, right, to how you contact and when you contact your book of business. This is critical to your level of success and earning potential. Guys, this is how you lost $1.6 million. This is how. This is why. Okay? The difference between striving and thriving is your ability to make good decisions that will protect your momentum from derailment due to lack of productivity and communication with your customer base. Right? We know that the majority of marriages fail because of lack of communication about what it is we want and expect. It's the same thing with business relationships. A lot of them fail because of lack of communication of what we want or what we expect and what we want or what we do. TOMA, however, though, is the goal, and you will achieve it by having a systematic approach to how you conduct business. Okay, so the first step to achieving TOMA is to be governed by your business practices. And business practices is governed by principles, right? We know that principles is what helps us to do certain things or not do certain things, right? It's the why factor. The number one principle that I live by is prudence. Have anyone heard of the definition of prudence? Can anybody guess? Okay. All right, so let's go by the definition of Socrates. We've heard of Socrates, right? Socrates said that the definition of prudence is to know what is true and to know what is good, but to pursue what is good, right? To know what is true, know what is good, but to pursue what is good. So let's think of weight loss. What is true is, okay, I'm 300 pounds, for example, right? Truth is I'm 300 pounds. Good is I need to lose 300 pounds. Truth is I'm 300 pounds. That's a current reality. That is a fact, right? But what's good is I need to lose 300 pounds. So you see the difference? They're both the same thing, kind of, right? If you pursue what is true, you're going to remain 300 pounds, because if you pursue the truth, it's going to remain the truth. And all of your actions, all of your habits is going to perpetuate that truth. Got it? But if you pursue what is good, it's now an opportunity for you to change what you was doing So you can change what is good into a new what? Truth. Because the truth changes with habits, right? So the pursuit of what is good is executing habits to pursue what is good. That is what Socrates said. Yes, you need to know what is true so you can have a baseline for change. That is called prudence, right? So when you know the difference of what is true and what is good, and you know that you have to pursue what is good, you can make decisions like this. People that take all day to make a decision are people who are not governed by principle, especially not prudence. I can tell your level of professionalism by how long it takes for you to come up with a decision. I can tell whether you are a baby at this thing or whether you've got it based on how long it takes for you to make a decision. Because if you know the difference between what is true and what is good, it don't take you all day or all month or all year. It takes you microseconds. It's not even a thought, right? I'm 300 pounds. I'm either 300 pounds or I need to lose 300 pounds. Oh, I need to focus on losing 300 pounds, not the fact that I'm 300 pounds. Or I'm broke or I need money, right? If you focus on being broke, you're going to remain broke because that is your truth. But if you focus on I need money, you're going to create opportunities to do what? Make money, and you're going to change your current reality to I got money. You see, because you provided an opportunity for change. But if you sit in your truth, it's going to remain. That's how we lost our parents and our loved ones to, things that could have been prevented. Prudence is the governance of all that I do as a business owner and as a person, right? In every aspect of my wellness. Well, I want to say that. But the thing is, guys, we all got things we have to work on. And remember how I said life isn't a budgeting act? Life is your ability to keep some things in suspense while you make others a priority, and your ability to know when it's time to let go of them before you lose the things in suspense. It's not juggling, it's not balancing, it is literally catching before they fall. Right? Yeah. But you're not going to have it all together all the time. So your walk in wellness is basically you catching and dropping certain aspects of your life. So maybe in this season, your money is on point, right? But your weight has failed because you've been so focused on this. So at some point, you got to what? Invest in your weight loss, right? Which is going to probably, reduce how much leverage you got financially for a time being so you can take care of that. Or maybe you're great in your marriage, in your home life, but your professional life is horrible, right? Or our goal is we want to keep everything in a place where it's in harmony, not balance.
Harmony, I like that.
Harmony, right? Because harmony is where you are in a continuous state of vulnerability. And that's where help comes. We get better through association, not by perfection. Learning more, right? Getting better. No, you get better through people. You get better through people. All right? So the objective of establishing a new effective follow-up system is to ensure that no lead gets left behind. Is to ensure that you have exhausted all measures to close the deal. And it also is to ensure that you have saturated the market share through providing opportunity for your customers to share your product, service to their family, friends, and loved ones. A good, not true, but a good follow-up system will save you both time and money, which are precious commodities within your business. If you want to increase your profit margins, your follow-up system is the answer to your prayers. So if you've lost money in your business, which we know you have, what is the solution to getting some of that money back?
Follow-up system.
Following up with those people, right? Right? Because it's no longer what is true, it's pursuing what is good. A lot of why we fail in business is because we were in pursuit of the wrong stuff. I don't have enough money for that. I can't do that because I don't have enough people. What are you exercising in? Your truth, right? But if you say, oh, if I did X, Y, Z, then I can have blah, now you're in a position for change,
Yes.
right? Any questions on module 4?
Fourth question, as we pursue prudence, what do we do with the barriers? Because I fully receive that prudence, pursuing what's good is better than what's true. But what do we do with the barriers?
So remember when I say you act in harmony, and harmony is where you are the most vulnerable? When you're vulnerable, you have to be honest with yourself. And you have to be honest with others. And by being honest with others, you provide an opportunity for somebody to intercede on your behalf. So let's talk about money, because the majority of businesses fail because of lack of money, okay? So if I stand before you and I have a need, which is to grow, otherwise I'm going to perish, right? Carla, I'm in a situation where I need help, okay? We're thinking about closing down. We don't have the money to move forward, but I know that if we're going to succeed at this and not make closing down an option, we need more money, okay? You're not asking her for any money. You're telling her and you're putting it out in the ether that you have a need because you are in pursuit of a desired goal. What she's going to do is this. If she can rise to the occasion, she will. But if she can't, she's going to now be an influencer and try to figure out how, or she's going to go to God above on your behalf to intercede. What you're doing is you're changing the atmosphere. And I don't care how business oriented you are, we all need him at some point. But we have to be vulnerable enough to be honest with ourselves about that need and to be trusting of those around us to intercede on our behalf, because you can't do it by yourself. The thing is, we don't know where it's going to come from.
Absolutely.
But by you having the vulnerability to just tell others of the need, you now have a community of people working to help you save yourself, because you can't do it alone.
We realize that.
And with that pride, when you don't tell someone, that's when you fall. But when you put it out there, just praying yesterday, I said, God has never failed us yet.
No,
And even taking the step, I believe he's all in this thing.
absolutely,
All in it.
absolutely.
Even when she mentioned prudence, the first thing, in business, political, is the word of sagacious, a level of wisdom and strategy. Same thing under the prudence. It gets you through the areas, and it's the wisdom applied.
Right.
She just said it in different ways. It's like we can be wise, but if we don't use it, what good is to have the wisdom? Because wisdom applied that's not used is not wisdom at all. You have people that come here all the time that will tell me sometimes, you may know they're not your client because they'll say, well, when they see your prices, well, I know how to lose weight. And then they go on an email list. And I give them time to come back because I'm going to leave them with this. If you know how to lose weight and you've been here for 30 years, you would have did it already.
Right, but you know that they don't.
They
So what
don't.
you have to do is
Yeah.
you have to use your informational system to change their mindset
Yes.
without you having to put in the time or the effort. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking, like regarding the patient who needs the change, but then they have their mental, emotional, whatever barriers. How do you get them to that point? You just give them the information.
You just give them the
you just
information.
give it or they're not. But if
You
they
give
don't
them
take it-
access to the information.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, but then they go on the email list and they constantly we're
they're seeing
suspecting
it.
them.
And they're
Yes.
seeing it, and they're seeing it,
Yeah.
and something
That's
in their
where
head,
we're-
in their
Yes.
situation, in their life,
paradigm
is going to
shift.
bring them right back here.
And
Yes.
that's the systems that we kind of dropped.
There
the
you
ball
go.
on.
And I'll give you guys an example of how powerful that is. So I have a client who's been with me for over 8 years, right? I started in real estate, and I went from real estate to doing consulting lunch and learns. And that's how I grew my expertise in the realm of business coaching and development. I started it in 2014, okay? This person remembered me from that way back then. And I had lost touch with this person, but she is in my drip campaign from when I started that initial Lunch and Learn, right? It was called Power to Power Lunch and Learn series. And once a month, we will just send out an email blast to everybody who was self-promoting or entrepreneur in the area. And it was first come, first serve. We only had 30 seats. And every single month, them 30 seats were filled. It was $30. You got your lunch and you got, whatever it was that we were going to discuss, and an opportunity for you to lead, exchange with other like-minded individuals, right? So that's how I grew that. And my goal in that was really to create a sphere of people who was in hopes of investing in real estate, because I was a real estate agent at the time, right? But this person knew me from way back then, okay, from about 2013, 2014. But as I evolved as a person, my businesses and products changed, but my messaging kind of stayed the same, and I didn't realize that what I was doing then. So when I converted into financial services, she just followed suit. And literally over every product and service I have sold or promoted over the 8 years, this particular client has bought and sold into every single one.
I love it.
All the way up to date. She has it's crazy. Now she's in one of my coaching programs. I'm helping her and her husband write a business plan. They've already put in the paperwork for their loan and got approved. And this is somebody I met way back in 2013.
Awesome.
Right? So my point in that is, if you just stick with it, I ain't spoke to these people in almost a decade, and they're still buying stuff from me.
That's awesome, yeah.
Right? That level of rapport and respect has spanned 8 years. That's a marriage.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I now have the business of her church, her pastor, her 2 daughters are now financial clients of mine. Right?
Yeah.
That's 8 years.
Yeah.
That's a legacy with this lady now.
Yeah.
You do that,
Yeah.
your kids is gonna eat
Yeah.
off of your legacy.
We have to tap and have that system in place to keep tapping into
Yes.
the
Emails did that.
Yeah.
Email marketing. I was like, how did you find out about, oh girl, I got your email. You're on that list? Because all I did was just kept adding people to it over the years. She's like, girl, I've been getting your emails since we met. It's like, what?
And even people who call here looking for me saying, I need a gynecology appointment. And then when we have the opportunity to say, well, Dr. Fogey does not practice gynecology in the office anymore, but can we put you on her email list for wellness? Some people might say, well, okay. And then they could potentially become a customer for the other services. But I hear what you're saying. We've got to make sure we take advantage of all those opportunities.
Right. You just want them to stay in tune with you, and when they're ready to pull the trigger, they will. They will on their own time. But this just goes to show this is just one person who just stuck with me after all these years, and now they're an influencer. I got money from her 7 times over. I don't even know how many people. I'm literally the financial advisor for her whole church, and it's a 100-person congregation. And every 3 months, which is wonderful, okay, I have to go in there and do a seminar of some sort, but most of them are insurance clients for their cars, their homes, and I just have to renew them. That's one client though,
That's awesome.
right? From emails. From
right.
emails.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, that is my direct sales training, okay? And I hope it has sparked some new life within the things that you're looking to implement now that the city is about to reopen from, the COVID-19 pandemic. But listen, guys, Now we need to go into the real marketing training, right? This is going to be your marketing strategies or your marketing systems, and there's 4 of them that Brandy is going to go over, and this is going to be the nitty gritty of what you need to do as far as implementation, right? How to move forward now, how to transition from what's true to what is good, right? That's what she's going to give you. Okay, lovely. But how do I handle the shortcomings or the pitfalls that has caused me to be where I'm at? She's about to go through that. Okay? So I give you none other than Brandy Lynette. Okay? She is the founder of Manifest Prosperity, which is a holistic life coaching program that not just helps you as far as your being, but it helps you with your mindset that you're more productive in your finances, your professional, and your personal aspects. Okay? So you're in good hands. I give you none other than Brandy Lynette. Thank you so much for tuning in to Celebrity BMI Group's direct sale immersion training facilitated by yours truly, Lovely Lancaster. If you haven't done so already, be sure to like this video as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel. And look for our training on the 4 marketing systems facilitated by yours truly, Brandy Lynette.